From unexplained objects falling from the sky with no clear origin to ancient discoveries that challenge everything we thought we knew about history, Earth continues to reveal mysteries that feel almost impossible to explain. In one case, scientists are still trying to understand an artifact that doesn't match any known human or natural source.
They found the skull of what they believe is a new species of human, which could be our closest evolutionary relative.
In another, archaeologists believe they may have uncovered evidence tied to one of the most legendary relics in history, the Holy Grail. Today, we're breaking down some of the most astonishing discoveries ever found on our planet. Each one pushes the limits of science, history, and belief. Stay with us because what you're about to see could change everything. Number 15. The Dragon Man Skull. In 1933, during construction of the Dongjiang Bridge near Harbin, China, a worker made an extraordinary discovery along the banks of the Songhua River. A massive, unusual skull buried deep in the ground. At first glance, it didn't seem fully human. It was strikingly different in size and construction from any modern skull known. But due to the political tension at the time, the worker was afraid to report it to the authorities. Instead, he hid the skull away in an abandoned well where it was forgotten for decades. The find was lost to history for 85 years until the worker revealed its location to his family in 2018. On his deathbed. The skull was recovered and given to scientists for study. What happened next stunned researchers. They concluded after a detailed analysis that the skull belongs to a previously unknown branch of ancient humans called Homo longi and is commonly known as Dragon Man. Despite its dramatic name, it has no connection to myths or dragons. The name comes from the region's historical association with the Black Dragon River. The skull is one of the largest Homo skulls ever discovered, believed to belong to a male who lived around 146,000 years ago. Its features suggest a strong, complex link within the human evolutionary family. However, some scientists argue it may not be a new species, but rather a variation of an already known ancient human group found in China. Either way, this discovery remains one of the most important clues in understanding human evolution, revealing that our ancient past is far more complex than we once believed. Number 14. Hidden Mega Reef. Scientists off the coast of Australia have discovered something so huge it's been hidden beneath the ocean for centuries. The Great Barrier Reef, the world's largest coral reef system, lies under the waters of Queensland. It's so big that it spans over 86 million acres and can actually be seen from space by astronauts. But despite its incredible size, large parts of the reef still remain unexplored. That's what made a 2020 expedition so shocking. While mapping the seafloor in the northern Great Barrier Reef, researchers suddenly detected a gigantic structure rising from the depths below. It was a massive detached coral reef no one knew existed. The newly discovered reef stood more than 1,600 feet tall and nearly a mile wide, taller than the Empire State Building. Even more surprising, it was the first new reef discovered in the region in over 120 years. Later, scientists went back to check out the structure with an underwater robot named Sebastian, and they live-streamed the entire mission as it dropped down into the deep ocean. What the cameras showed was unbelievable. Despite being isolated from the surrounding reef system, the hidden reef was thriving with life. Schools of brightly colored fish swirled around giant coral formations, while gray reef sharks glided silently through the dark blue water. The finding was a reminder to scientists of how little mankind still knows about the sea, because even today there may still be huge underwater worlds hidden under the surface, waiting to be discovered. Number 13. The Lost Ghost Submarine. Some military missions are so secret they were never meant to be fully understood. During World War II, a British Special Operations submarine, HMS Triumph, vanished without a trace in 1942. It had been assigned a covert rescue mission near a German-occupied Greek island, tasked with extracting British refugees under extreme risk. It never arrived. With no signals, no distress call, and no confirmed sightings, the vessel simply disappeared into the Mediterranean. Because of its classified nature, even wartime tracking records were limited. Eventually, HMS Triumph was declared lost at sea, along with all 64 crew members on board. For decades, its fate remained one of the ocean's quiet mysteries. Then, more than 80 years later, a Greek technical diver named Kostas Thoctorides dedicated over 2 decades to solving it. Using deep-sea exploration technology, he systematically searched the region where the submarine was last believed to operate. Finally, in 2023, he found it resting roughly 6 miles off Cape Sunion, nearly 200 meters below the surface. A remotely operated vehicle revealed the haunting truth. The submarine's bow had been torn open by a powerful blast, but the hatches were still sealed, suggesting it went down instantly while submerged. Whether it was struck by an enemy attack or suffered a catastrophic failure remains unknown. Today, the wreck is officially treated as a protected war grave. Its exact location is kept undisclosed, a silent tomb beneath the sea, finally rediscovered after 85 years. Number 12. Space Metal Arrowhead. Imagine you had to build an arrow thousands of years ago. You'd probably use stone, maybe bronze, maybe wood. But one ancient craftsman decided to do something almost unbelievable. He made his arrowhead out of metal from outer space. The artifact was originally discovered in the 1870s near Mürgen, Switzerland. For over a century, archaeologists believed it was just an unusually rusted Bronze Age arrowhead, nothing more. But in 2023, researchers took a closer look using advanced X-ray analysis, and what they discovered shocked them. This ancient weapon wasn't made from ordinary metal. It was forged from iron taken from a meteorite that crashed to Earth over 3,000 years ago. Even more incredible, scientists traced the material back to a meteor impact site in Estonia, more than 1,400 miles away from where the arrow was found. That means ancient people may have collected fragments of a fallen space rock and traded them across Europe long before modern civilization even existed. And considering that most meteorites burn apart before ever reaching Earth's surface, this discovery is unbelievably rare. Researchers now believe meteoric iron may have been one of the most valuable materials in the ancient world, literally metal from the heavens, which means somewhere in the Bronze Age, ancient warriors may have been fighting with weapons made from outer space. Number 11. Egypt's Lost Golden City. In 2020, archaeologist Zahi Hawass and his team began an excavation on the west bank of the Nile, near Luxor. Their goal seemed ordinary at first, to locate a mortuary temple connected to a pharaoh's burial complex. But what they uncovered beneath the desert changed everything. As layers of sand were carefully removed, the ground began to reveal something no one expected. Not a temple, not a tomb, an entire ancient city. Buried deep beneath the surface was a full settlement, lost to time for thousands of years. Mud brick houses still stood in place, narrow winding streets stretched between them. Walls preserved the outline of daily life, as if the city had been suddenly sealed and forgotten by history itself. There were no written records, no ancient maps, no references in history, nothing. At first, even the archaeologists didn't know what they were looking at. Because of its incredible preservation and its origin during the peak of ancient Egyptian civilization, they named it the Lost Golden City. Early analysis dated the settlement to around 3,400 years ago, during Egypt's New Kingdom, the legendary Golden Age of ancient Egypt. As excavations continued over the following months, more of the city slowly emerged from the sand. Entire neighborhoods came into view. Pottery still lay where it had been left. Tools, jewelry, and small amulets gave a glimpse into the lives of the people who once called this place home. Perhaps the most extraordinary discovery was a large bakery, with ovens and workspaces large enough to bake food for hundreds of people at one time. It revealed something powerful. This was more than a city of royalty and temples. It was a living, breathing urban center. Later, inscriptions on wine jars and pottery finally revealed its identity as a thriving city known as Aten, connected to the reign of Pharaoh Amenhotep III. What made the discovery even more extraordinary was its state of preservation, one of the most complete ancient cities ever uncovered in Egypt, often ranked in significance alongside the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922. The lost Golden City proved something astonishing. Even after thousands of years, entire civilizations can remain buried beneath the sand, waiting silently for history to bring them back into the light. Number 10. Petra's Holy Grail Tomb. Since the ancient legends told of the Holy Grail, the cup said to have been used by Jesus at the Last Supper, humanity has been captivated by the search for it. A mysterious vessel with miraculous healing powers, even the ability to impart eternal life. Most people dismiss the story as sheer myth, but in 2024, a discovery under the ancient city of Petra suddenly had the internet questioning everything. Archaeologists were scanning near Petra's famous treasury when their equipment detected something strange deep beneath the structure, a secret underground chamber no one knew about. Researchers got curious and started digging up the site, and what they found looked like something straight out of an Indiana Jones movie. Buried beneath layers of stone and dust was a sealed tomb containing 12 human skeletons surrounded by ancient bronze, iron, and ceramic artifacts dating back more than 2,000 years. But one detail immediately stole everyone's attention. One of the skeletons appeared to be holding a ceramic chalice tightly in its hand, and within hours, wild theories exploded online. People began asking the impossible question: had archaeologists finally discovered the Holy Grail? The connection seemed even stranger because Petra itself had already become famous in pop culture as the location linked to Grail legends and adventure films. For a moment, it genuinely felt like history and mythology were colliding in real life. But after closer examination, experts delivered a far less magical explanation. Researchers now believe the chalice was most likely just the broken upper section of an ordinary ceramic jug. Still, the discovery was far from disappointing. The hidden tomb gave archaeologists an incredibly rare look into the burial practices of the mysterious Nabatean civilization that once ruled Petra thousands of years ago, proving that even without the Holy Grail, the ancient city still has secrets left to uncover. Number 9. The giant moa claw. Deep inside a remote cave on Mount Owen in New Zealand, archaeologists uncovered something that looked almost impossible. A perfectly preserved giant bird claw, still covered in dried skin and tissue after more than 3,000 years. At first glance, it didn't even look real. The discovery resembled something straight out of a monster movie rather than a fossil hidden deep underground. The claw belonged to the moa, one of the largest birds ever to walk the earth. Some species stood over 10 feet tall and weighed hundreds of pounds, dominating New Zealand long before humans ever arrived. Unlike modern birds, moas were completely flightless, relying instead on their massive legs to move through dense forests and open land. But their reign didn't last forever. Around 800 years ago, the first human settlers reached New Zealand, and the giant birds quickly became targets for hunting. Within just a few centuries, every species of moa had vanished forever. What makes this discovery so unsettling is its incredible preservation. Hidden deep within the cave's cold, dry environment, the claw remained almost untouched for thousands of years, like a frozen fragment from another era. It's a haunting reminder that enormous creatures once ruled this planet and disappeared long before most of human history even began. Number 8. Mysterious space debris. In April 2024, a farmer and his son in Saskatchewan, Canada, stumbled across something bizarre buried in their farmland. A massive metallic object that looked like it had fallen straight out of the sky. Weighing more than 100 pounds and built from carbon fiber and reinforced aluminum, the structure didn't resemble anything they had ever seen before. The object's strange honeycomb design and futuristic materials immediately sparked speculation online. Photos spread rapidly across social media, with some people convinced the wreckage belonged to secret military technology, while others wondered if it could be something even stranger. For a brief moment, the quiet farmland became the center of a real-world mystery. But experts soon uncovered the truth. The object was most likely a surviving fragment of a SpaceX rocket that had re-entered Earth's atmosphere. During launches, booster components are designed to detach and usually burn apart before reaching the ground. However, in rare cases, large pieces survive the intense heat and crash back to Earth. Investigators later linked the debris to previous rocket activity, and the object was eventually recovered for further analysis. What began as a possible alien encounter became a reminder of something equally unsettling. Humanity has filled Earth's orbit with so much technology that pieces of it are now literally falling back down onto the planet. Number 7. Antarctica's Blood Waterfall. At first, this sounds incredible, but it is one of the most fascinating scientific discoveries in Antarctica. Scientists have discovered a spooky natural wonder called Blood Falls deep in the frozen wilderness on the edge of the Taylor Glacier. It flows out of solid ice like a slow red waterfall, creating a scene that seems almost otherworldly. But this is no imaginary mystery. It is a real geological find hidden under almost 400 meters of ice. Scientists have determined that the red flow is from a massive ancient lake trapped under the ice sheet for millions of years. This lake was previously connected to the ocean, but glaciers completely sealed it off over time, cutting it off from the outside world. For millions of years, it was sealed up in total darkness, no sunlight, no oxygen, no outside contact. As new layers of ice formed on top, the water trapped inside became so salty and concentrated that it still doesn't freeze even in the extreme cold of Antarctica. The ancient water that finally finds its way out of the glacier through cracks reacts at once with the oxygen in the air. The water has a high iron content, which oxidizes and creates the striking red color that gives Blood Falls its name. But even more amazing was what the scientists found inside this secret ecosystem. Even if it has been isolated for millions of years, the lake is far from empty. It contains living microbes, tiny organisms that have evolved to survive in one of the most extreme environments on the Earth. No sunlight, no oxygen, and almost no energy sources, yet life continues. This discovery is more than just a natural wonder. It gives scientists a rare glimpse into how life can survive in extreme conditions, and even opens the possibility that similar hidden ecosystems could exist beneath the icy surfaces of other planets, like Mars. What looks like a frozen red waterfall is actually a window into an ancient hidden world, one of the most extraordinary discoveries in modern science. Number 6. Amazon's hidden civilization. Deep into the heart of the Amazon rainforest have gone explorers for centuries, seeking out a legendary lost city hidden beneath the jungle canopy said to be teeming with wealth, mystery, and unimaginable riches. Spanish dubbed this mythical civilization a name that would echo through the ages, El Dorado. But after many failed expeditions, the story slowly faded into legend. Historians decided the Amazon was simply too dense, too hostile, too unforgiving to support huge ancient civilizations. Mainstream thinking was that there was only room for small, scattered tribes to exist there. Then, in 2024, everything switched. Stephen Rostand and a team of scientists went back into the jungles of eastern Ecuador, this time armed with a sophisticated laser scanning technology called LiDAR. Instead of tramping through the rainforest, scientists could now scan from the sky right through the dense jungle canopy, showing what had been hidden under the trees for thousands of years. What they found shocked the archaeological world. Underneath the rainforest lay a vast ancient urban system in the Upano region. Giant platforms, plazas, neighborhoods, and long, perfectly straight roads linking thousands of structures together. More than 6,000 artificial foundations emerged from beneath the jungle floor like the ruins of a forgotten world. As excavations began, researchers realized this wasn't just a collection of villages. It was one of the largest and oldest civilizations ever discovered in the Amazon. Experts believe the region may once have supported up to 100,000 people nearly 2,500 years ago, completely destroying the long-standing idea that ancient Amazon societies were primitive or isolated. The city wasn't built from gold like the legends of El Dorado claimed, but the truth may be even more incredible, because hidden beneath one of the world's most mysterious jungles, an advanced civilization had remained invisible to humanity for centuries, waiting for lasers in the sky to finally reveal its existence. Number 5. The dinosaur-bird fossil. Everybody knows that dinosaurs used to rule the world. What many people don't realize is that they never truly disappeared. Modern birds are actually the living descendants of ancient theropod dinosaurs, the same group that included predators like Velociraptor and even T-Rex. But in 2023, scientists may have uncovered one of the most important missing links in this story. In China, paleontologists discovered a 120-million-year-old fossil of a strange creature that didn't quite fit into any known category. At first glance, it looked like a bird complete with feathers, wings, and a body built for flight, but its skull told a very different story. Its jaw structure closely resembled that of a predatory dinosaur, far more primitive than anything seen in modern birds. Unlike today's birds, which can move parts of their beaks more freely, this creature could only move its lower jaw just like a theropod. And the more scientists studied it, the stranger it became. Its unusually long legs and feet suggested it had evolved from fast ground-dwelling predators before slowly adapting to life in the air. It wasn't fully a dinosaur, and it wasn't fully a bird either. It was something in between, a snapshot of evolution and progress. A rare glimpse into the moment when Earth's most fearsome land predators began their transformation into the birds we see today. Number 4. The demon shark. The deep ocean is home to creatures so strange and unsettling that some of them barely seem real. But in 2023, scientists officially identified one of the most bizarre discoveries yet, a newly recognized species now nicknamed the demon shark. What makes the story even stranger is that the mystery actually began decades earlier. Back in the 1980s, researchers off the coast of Australia recovered the body of a dead pregnant shark that was believed to belong to a known species of cat shark. At first, nothing appeared unusual. But after closer examination, scientists noticed disturbing differences that didn't match any shark on record. Its ghostly pale eyes looked almost lifeless, and the strange egg cases inside its body had an unusually twisted shape, unlike anything researchers had seen before. For years, the mystery remained unsolved. The strange specimens were eventually stored away inside museum collections, where they sat forgotten for decades. Then, years later, marine biologists uncovered several more bizarre egg cases hidden in scientific archives. Covered in unusual T-shaped ridges and markings, the eggs clearly belonged to something unknown. When researchers compared the new specimens with the shark discovered years earlier, they made a shocking realization. The mysterious eggs perfectly matched the pregnant shark from the 1980s. Scientists had unknowingly been studying an entirely undiscovered species the whole time. The animal was officially named the ridgeback cat shark, but online it quickly earned a darker nickname, the demon shark. And after seeing its eerie eyes and alien-looking eggs, it's easy to understand why. Number 3. The dinosaur mummy. Most people only imagine a few scattered bones trapped inside rock when they think about dinosaur fossils. However, an incredible discovery made in Canada in 2011 permanently altered that. One of the best preserved dinosaur fossils ever discovered was unintentionally discovered by an oil miner working deep underground. The creature was so well petrified that it resembled a real dinosaur turned to stone rather than just bones. The creature was a nodosaur, a plant-eating dinosaur that existed about 110 million years ago and was strongly armored. It would have been around 18 feet long and nearly 3,000 pounds in weight when it was alive. To protect it against enormous predators, its body was armored in thick armor plates and razor-sharp spikes. However, what really startled experts wasn't the dinosaur itself. It was the condition it was found in. Unlike ordinary fossils, this creature still preserved its skin, armor, body shape, and even fine surface details. Researchers believe that shortly after its death, the nodosaur was swept out to sea, where it sank to the ocean floor and became buried beneath layers of sediment. Over millions of years, minerals slowly replaced the dinosaur's soft tissues, essentially transforming the entire animal into a perfectly preserved stone mummy. And somehow, after more than 100 million years hidden beneath the earth, continental drift eventually pushed that ancient seabed beneath modern-day Canada, allowing a miner to unknowingly uncover a real-life dinosaur mummy from another world. It remains one of the most extraordinary fossil discoveries ever made. Number 2. The Lost Van Gogh. For more than a century, the name Vincent van Gogh has been associated with brilliance, struggle, and paintings that changed the art world forever. But what if one of his forgotten works had been sitting in plain sight for decades, unnoticed? That's exactly what happened in 2013. A guy investigating his attic in a peaceful Norwegian home unearthed a discovery that would soon draw the interest of art specialists worldwide. An artwork that no one had seen in recent times was concealed among antiques. It initially appeared to be simply another overlooked canvas. However, the brushwork, color selections, and obvious intensity all felt distinct. Experts were astounded when they took a closer look at the sculpture. It was established that the painting, which was produced in 1888 at one of Vincent van Gogh's most productive times, is an actual lost work. For more than a century, the artwork, later recognized as Sunset at Montmajour, had mysteriously vanished from the public eye. It's still unclear how it got into an attic. Its journey is not well documented, and for many years it merely disappeared into the backdrop of daily existence without anyone noticing. However, the art world was rocked by the finding upon authentication. As though it had been patiently waiting for the world to catch up, a long-forgotten masterpiece had reappeared. Similar Van Gogh paintings have sold for tens of millions at auction, but the picture was later sold to a private collector for an undisclosed sum. It serves as a potent reminder that priceless history may still be found in the most commonplace locations in the modern world, just waiting to be rediscovered. Number 1. The Mars Pyramid Mystery. Mars, a world of unanswered questions, but one image turned simple curiosity into global speculation. Then, when the high-resolution orbiters started mapping the Cydonia region, something strange poked its head out of the red dust, an eerie pyramid-like structure sticking up out of the Martian surface. Its sharp angles and striking geometry stood out immediately, almost as if it had been designed rather than formed. The sunlight striking the edges and casting deep, purposeful-looking shadows made the illusion all the more powerful. It felt unnatural at first, too precise to ignore. Across the internet, theories exploded. Some believed it was evidence of an ancient structure, possibly built by an unknown civilization. Others argued it was nothing more than a natural mesa shaped slowly over millions of years by wind, dust storms, and erosion. NASA scientists have repeatedly clarified that Mars is full of formations that can easily trick the human eye, especially under specific lighting conditions. Later, higher resolution images revealed more irregular shapes and inconsistencies, weakening the idea of any artificial origin. Yet, the fascination never truly faded. Because Mars has a habit of doing this, it transforms ordinary geology into extraordinary mystery. And maybe that's why we keep looking upward. In the end, Mars reminds us that not every mystery needs to be solved to be meaningful. Sometimes, the wonder itself is the answer. And as we reach the end of these discoveries, one thing is certain: the universe is far more mysterious than we are prepared for. In the end, these discoveries remind us that the universe is still full of unanswered mysteries waiting to be explored. Every explanation we find only opens the door to even bigger questions. And maybe that endless curiosity is the real force driving discovery itself.